She held flowers in her hands and wore a wedding dress. It was her wedding day, yet not a single trace of joy could be seen on her face. Consumed by hatred, she was determined to marry a man 30 years her senior. President Meng thought he would easily win this beautiful woman, but a man suddenly rushed into the wedding venue. He grabbed the bride and fled in front of everyone. President Meng flew into a rage at the sight. He never imagined that a prominent business tycoon like himself would have his wedding crashed in public, and the culprit was none other than his own nephew. To make matters even more infuriating, the whole thing was a trap set by his son and nephew working together. Furious, President Meng ordered his men to capture the two at all costs. The pair escaped to the seaside. John finally stopped running away and faced her true feelings. She held Xiphon tightly and cried. Later, they hid in a bed and breakfast and enjoyed a brief private life together. But this happiness was never meant to last. After failing to locate them, President Meng set his sights on Park Youngwoo and his wife. He had the couple forcibly brought to him. As soon as Youngwoo and Miran saw President Meng, they dropped to their knees and begged for mercy, terrified that he would hold them accountable for kidnapping John earlier. President Meng offered them a deal. He would forget all their past mistakes and give them a large sum of living expenses if Miran helped him find John. Trapped and tempted by the huge offer, the couple agreed on the spot. Miran immediately called John and lied that she was seriously ill, urging John to return to the Gu home right away. Xiphon saw through the trap at a glance, but John cared too deeply about Miran to stay away, even knowing it was a trap. As expected, the moment they arrived at the Gu residence, Secretary Yin arrived with his men and took them to President Meng. Watching the two hold each other's hands tightly, President Meng's face turned terrifyingly dark. He ordered his men to restrain Xiphon and planned to place him under house arrest again. John immediately knelt down and begged desperately, pleading with President Meng to let Xiphon go. She was willing to take all the consequences. Her humility only fueled President Meng's anger. Seeing his uncle hurt John like this, Xiphon burned with rage. He declared that he would cut all ties with his uncle and mocked him for treating John as nothing more than a collectible, driven by a sick sense of possession. President Meng was stung to the core and lost control. He smashed the vase in the living room violently. Xiphon did not back down, hitting his uncle's weak spot with every word. Overwhelmed with anger, President Meng could take no more. He raised his hand and struck at Xiphon. John rushed forward and pushed Xiphon away, taking the heavy blow herself. The sight terrified Xiphon. He picked up John and rushed her to the hospital like a madman. Meanwhile, President Meng followed closely to the hospital. He never expected his impulsive action to hurt John. The doctor told Xiphon that John had suffered a head injury with severe blood loss, and her condition was critical. Back home, President Meng was overwhelmed with remorse. He had only wanted to teach the two a lesson, never thinking things would spiral out of control. Fortunately, with Xiphon's devoted care, John gradually regained consciousness. Overjoyed at the news, President Meng rushed to the hospital immediately. He apologized sincerely to John in front of both of them, feeling guilty for his selfishness and stubbornness. This time, he let go of his obsession completely and chose to step aside, allowing the two people who truly loved each other to be together. President Meng also returned the Liu family's company to John as a wedding gift from him to the couple.